samurai. You are a warrior. I can see that. You trained your whole life for this. And you have won battles that lesser men have called unwinnable, yes? But while you were sharpening your sword, do you know how I prepared for today? I learned. I know your language, your traditions, your beliefs, which villages to tame and which to burn. So I'll ask you once again, samurai, do you surrender?
PlayStation.
Hello everybody, welcome back to INSANEBRIT Gaming. I'm the INSANEBRIT, and I'm sure that trailer pretty much got your attention at this point, and if it didn't, then you ain't a gamer. What the fuck are you doing here? Because it should have grabbed anyone's attention. And take note, Assassin's Creed, that's where we want to be in Japan. Just throwing it out there. Whatever, and that's the way it's going to be. Of course, there's no gameplay, but I've got no doubt it's going to be a quality game, nonetheless. So there's probably a bunch of topics I should be talking about from last week, and Fallout, and blah, blah, blah. But I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to dedicate this whole video to E3. This week's News Friday is about E3, and more or less just giving you my thoughts and opinions, and I've got a list here of games that will be coming there, well, apparently coming to E3. It's another leaked list, as it were, but we're going to go down the list, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions based on the companies. So, for example, EA, we've got Bethesda, we've got Square Enix, Ubisoft, blah, blah, blah. And at the end, I'm going to leave it to the showdown will be between PlayStation and Xbox, and then you decide who will win at this year's E3 press conference or whatever, based on what I've got here. It does start on Saturday, I believe, I think. And then goes through to Tuesday or whatever, and with various companies and that. So I have got a list here of games and stuff like that. Now, I haven't gone into mass overdrive and trying to find out every single thing. News is always leaking all the time. There's probably something I've missed in this video anyway, at the time of the recording. The last thing I can tell you right now off the top of my head was that Hitman 2, the next Hitman game, has been leaked online somewhere or other. I think it was it Steam? I think it's Steam, I don't know, don't quote me on that. But at the same time, it's been leaked. Someone's leaked it somewhere. So there's going to be a Hitman 2. Jumping on that story straight away, I've played all the Hitman games. I loved them. The last one was on the PS3 generation. I played, completed it, was okay, held your hand for the most part. And then the latest one came out. I never bought it. My friend came around with it, played it a little bit, was okay. But I didn't record it or anything like that. Like I said, I don't own it, so I had it for a day or two anyway, and I don't know if I'll be bothered to even pick it up. So this second one coming out, it's just been leaked. Meh, I'm on the fence with it. I don't really care one way or the other. Anyway, but that's the latest piece of news I found out. So sticking with this list, we've got, now it says here about PC gaming and stuff like that, and there's going to be a shitload of PC games and God knows what says segment, but it says here, it just gives you information. We'll showcase exclusive announcements. Developer includes Hi-Res Studios, Stardock Entertainment, and many more. Don't give me no information, so I'm not going to go into PC. Nintendo, I'm going to start off with Nintendo. I'm just going to tell you about them because I don't play Nintendo games. I don't have a Switch, and even if I did, I couldn't record them because, quite frankly, they copyright strike you and everything. So, Nintendo have Super Smash Bros. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Pokemon Let's Go Eve, Mario Tennis Aces, and Bayonetta 3, which is ironic because I believe my friend Chaos likes Bayonetta. I didn't like it. I played it. I think it was the PS3. I played it. I didn't like it that much. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like the character and the art style, whatever. I just didn't get along with it. It is what it is, but I believe that's on the Switch. They got Metroid Prime 4, Star Fox Grand Prix, Octopath Traveler, and Yoshi, which is a working title apparently. So there's another Yoshi game coming out, I believe, for the Switch. Again, I don't really have any opinions on Nintendo. I'm just putting them out there so you've got the actual list. The companies we're going to be going down, though, today is EA, Bethesda, Square Enix, Ubisoft, and then finally Xbox versus PlayStation. Make what you want of that. That will be the end as the final two major companies come together in a battle and you decide who wins. Don't forget to check out this week's poll, which will who will win E3. And I'm going to include most of these companies, if I can fit them all in, a poll on the community tab, so don't forget to check that out. So first and foremost, EA, pretty simplistic. Let's go down the list here. They're going to kick it up. Well, I don't know if it's in no particular order. Madden 2019, pretty much standard, and it's got here literally it says other sports titles, which you know is coming anyway, you know. So meh, it is what it is. FIFA 19, which I want to see a trailer of. I haven't looked for it really, or even seen any trailer, so I know we're going to come out with a trailer there. Going to be definitely checking that one out, listening very, very carefully to what they've done. And I was going to say when it comes out, but let's face it, it's always September 29th anyway, and I'll be definitely picking that shit up on day one. Anthem, which is a BioWare game. I just see pop up when I was watching the ad for it, and I'm like, God damn it! I just criticised them heavily for the past 2 or 3 weeks over their bullshit, and yet they're making Anthem, which is essentially going to be like their Destiny, as it were. I don't know if that's a PlayStation exclusive. It might be. I don't know. I think it is. I assume it is, actually. I don't know it. I can't remember off the top of my head. But Anthem definitely does look really, really cool. I just hope there's no there's no delays in it and we finally get to play this game. It looks like a brilliant universe. Then we've got Battlefield coming up. We know that's coming. You know my opinions on the controversial women in the game or not, blah, blah, blah. It's all there. I'm not going to discuss that part of it. But Battlefield, that pretty much, again, it's just a short list. I hope there's many, many more surprises coming from all these companies. So, in conclusion, EA, Battlefield, Anthem, FIFA 19, Madden, and some other sports titles, whatever. Short and sweet, but definitely, ironically, Battlefield we want to see more of, especially with gameplay. Anthem I definitely want to see, and FIFA 19, and anything else is just a bonus from that point on. So they've got some 3 solid games at the end of the day. Next we're going to go to Square Enix. They have the Avengers project, so if you're an Avenger fan or whatever, I assume it's going to be a fighting game. Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is one of the best or whatever. Everyone's super hyped for Final Fantasy VII. I've only played Final Fantasy 15 for like 2 or 3 hours. I enjoyed it. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, there's no point in me picking it up, really. I have no fucking clue about the actual story or anything like that. I don't know. It's never been my type of game, hence I've never really played one, other than when my friend borrowed me it. I mean, brought it round for a day or two and I played it, and it was fun, nonetheless. Next, we've got Dragon Quest Builders 2, Left Alive, Dragon Quest XI. I don't know Roman numerals, believe it or not. It's ridiculous in itself. But yeah, so we've got like 2 Dragon Quest games there. One of them Dragon Quest Builders. Left Alive, I believe that's a series. I think it is. I don't know. I'm not too sure that's a new IP, but I swear to God I've seen Left Alive before. Or was it Left 4 Dead? Maybe I'm getting the 2 confused. Next up, we got Kingdom Hearts, which looks kind of interesting to me. Kingdom Hearts 3, sorry, one of the most anticipated games to be coming out for a longest time. Don't know why it got delayed, but for whatever reason, it will be at E3 again. And hopefully it comes out. And I don't know if I'll be playing it though, but it might be interesting if I see more gameplay elements to it. And who knows, I might pick it up cheap sometime. And finally, oh no, we've got 2 last games here from Square Enix, and that's Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which of course I definitely want to play the one before it, which is Rise of the Tomb Raider, I believe. Is it called Rise? Which I definitely got to play. I played the first one recently, so I've got to play that before I can play this one. And lastly, Life is Strange 2. Of course, I've completed Life is Strange, platinumed it, and then I platinumed Before the Storm. I believe it's called, yeah. and I enjoyed that. That was the closing off of the story. I'm not too sure if they're going to include the same characters. I don't think they will. I think they use the word Life is Strange as the heading and then tell a different story, pretty much like Bioshock do. But I hope I love to get back into that universe. Same characters or not, I don't know, but I did enjoy the stories, and I want to know what interesting story they have to tell with Life is Strange in itself. Next up we have Fallout, Bethesda's Fallout 76. I did play Fallout 4, the original, not New Vegas. I played Fallout 4, and this was before I had internet or anything like that, I believe. And essentially, what happened is that I gathered up all these spoons, caps, all this crap, and I had it on my back, and I was lumbering around, and I literally walked like this for 40 legit minutes trying to get to another location, real time. 40-50 minutes, and then later on I found out there was fast travel. I fucking sold the game. I was so pissed off at the thing. So I never really continued it, but I do respect it as a franchise. It is a good game because I did play some really good monsters on that. But I don't know if I'll be picking that up. It's a massive game, and right now I'm having trouble fucking completing Monster Hunter. Not because it's like difficult and I've had to replay missions and stuff. Only once or twice I've had to do that. It's more or less just the length of it, you know what I mean? You guys get bored, I have to break it up and play other games, so, and it like just goes on and on. I can't seem to get rid of a fucking thing. Fallout, I suspect it's going to be the same kind of game, whatever. Rage 2, I haven't really got an opinion on that. Apparently it was a good concept, but it didn't really work out. Nothing really going on about that. I know every game has its fans and fanboys, but Rage 2 don't really appeal to me. Prey is already out there, coming out with a DLC, which is ironic. They've waited 1 or 2 years or whatever for a DLC to come out, and they're announcing that at E3. Having said that, considering the fact that I have got Prey myself, I got for my Christmas present or birthday, I can't remember which one, I've actually got a Bethesda game, and I just haven't played it yet. But also, ironically, I've heard another rumour that Doom 2 might be announced as well, just to throw that one in there. I think Bethesda make that. I think. I can't remember off the top of my head again. My mind's all over the place. And also, it's got written here a few surprises as well, written in the heading. So there might. I always like that when companies spring up something. So maybe they come out with a HD version of another game, or maybe they, have an app or something. I don't know. But we had an app a few years ago with the Fallout game, I believe it was. And lastly, which everyone's been crying about, well, a new Elder Scrolls game is coming out, but it's not sure if it's just a story-based game or it will be online or have both elements. A lot of people are saying they want the next Skyrim or whatever, because it's been so many years since that came out. Or this may be even an expansion pack for the new Elder Scrolls game. So who knows what's happening there. So that covers EA, Bethesda, Square Enix, and lastly, before we get to the big guns in Xbox and Sony, we have Ubisoft. Now, Ubisoft, I'm always impressed with Ubisoft. They whack out quality games or some decent games with good stories and some great graphics in an open world like Assassin's Creed. Just keep whacking them out. I know a lot of people say, no, the quality isn't as good, they're always buggy, I get that, but the scope of what I'm about to tell you here is pretty impressive for one studio, and it makes me think, how many people are they goddamn hiring? So first and foremost, some games I have no idea about. Transference, never heard of it. Starlink Battle for Atlas, and a new Splinter Cell game. You might say, oh man, you must be a Splinter Cell fan because you like Metal Gear. Well, actually I don't. I can't stand Splinter Cell. I don't like the character. I thought the game was boring. But that was just my opinion, and I'm just a fanboy of Metal Gear, and I just don't like the idea of playing Splinter Cell. I think they had one that came out and lost the PS3 generation. Everyone was hyped about it. I didn't play it. I didn't care for it, one way or the other. Next up, like I said, they come out with some good games, Ubisoft. So we've got Splinter Cell here, which is obviously impressive and going to be. I know it is, considering I don't like it. The Crew 2, a few of my ABN clan members will like the Crew. I'm not a fan of racing car games, as you know, hence the reason I don't play any of them. Not good at racing, it is what it is. And then they got the Division 2. Again, that was basically a squad-based game with online players. I could have played it, but again, recording it and then having people trying to join me and blah blah, it's too much of a hassle. And I didn't like the ending boss. I did see the ending boss, that wasn't a very satisfying ending, but so that shows you the kind of clout that Ubisoft have to Splinter Cell, the Division 2, the Crew 2. So that's 3 big games there, I've got to be honest with you. And they've also got 3 other games in the works, according to this, and that's Beyond Good and Evil 2, which we already know was at last year's E3. We'll see it again, of course, and hopefully it gets a release date as well this year or early 2019. I mean, I assume that's what's going to happen to most of these games anyway. I want them spread out a little bit because there's going to be so much money for new games for everyone, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, I'd rather break them down every month or whatever, and then we can, you know, go from there kind of thing. But that's just where I prefer to do it, you know what I mean? It is what it is. They have Skull and Bones, which is a sea-based game or whatever. Very excited about that. Not too sure if you need a massive squad. I haven't looked into all the details of these games because I don't want to spoil it, as it were. I believe you need a crew for that, and you have different clanmates. I think that was the way it works in that game. I'm not too sure, but if it has a story-based element, I'm definitely interested in watching that. I mean, playing that, sorry. The story mode. And finally, a story that broke 1 or 2 weeks ago, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which a lot of people were surprised at because they thought they was doing the 2-year route like they did with the last Assassin's Creed. Kind of annoying me in some sense because I haven't played the last one, so I'm not going to jump on that one until I played the last one. And it has no mention here of the Assassin's Creed 1 remake, but I think that might be... I mean, I would like them to come out with a remake now, or maybe that's one of their surprises. And again, we always like surprises at these events. So I'm hoping that they come out with this one in the next few months, like Assassin's Creed 1. And then they say Assassin's Creed next year or something. As long as we know it's coming, I'll be happy with that. But it is what it is. Because again, I thought they were going down that 2-year route thing. Pretty much like Call of Duty do, you know what I mean? Every 2 years. Well, they do it every year, but a new company takes over, so, you know. But again, there's a lot of quality there from Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed, The Crew, Division 2, Skull and Bones, Beyond Good and Evil, and the new Splinter Cell game. Ubisoft are working hard, man, I'll tell you that. But working on all these projects, you kind of feel that you hold back a little bit, at least lay off the Assassin's Creed, and then put more focus into your other games, and hopefully there will be an even better success. But again, that's just my opinion. God knows how many people they hire. So that's about it for all the companies, minus Xbox and PlayStation. So let's go on straight on in at Xbox. Now, the first one I'm going to mention right now is Crackdown 3, which apparently has been delayed to 2019, which doesn't hurt me. I mean, it would be ideal to have it out at Christmas or that period or whatever, but at the same time, early 2019 isn't a big killer to me. It's not surprising. Disappointing from Xbox perspective, because the list of what I'm looking at is just not good enough. Okay, so Xbox have Crackdown 3, been delayed. Okay. Next up, they got new Forza Horizon. It's just saying new Forza Horizon. That's just so it's a new Forza Horizon game, which is only for Xbox, an exclusive, I presume. Yeah, I think it is. Then next up, they've got a new Halo. Now, again, I'm not a fan of racing car games in Horizon. Crackdown 3 is interesting, but again, it's been delayed. Halo, definitely interested in. Got to play Halo 2. I'm trying to play all these Halos and then knocking them out, and I'm just so slow on it, but I've got to get back to Halo, definitely. So a new Halo game is coming. I thought that was coming out last year. They said, no, they're holding off. It's coming out this year at E3. They're going to show it, so I assume it's coming out for Christmas time. Now, this is where it gets very interesting. After Halo, it's saying here 3 new Gears of War games or new titles are coming out. Now, I thought this might be a new series of games, so like new to tell a 3-part story in 3 games, a new story, a new enemy type. I don't know. That was my feelings on it. At the same time, if this console generation is coming to an end, I know for a fact that they were coming out with Gears of War. They came out with Gears of War Ultimate Edition for Gears of War 1, and I believe Gears of War 2 was coming out on like an Ultimate Edition as well, HD'd up, for the Xbox. That is what I've already seen. I've seen beta of it online and stuff like that, so I thought that was coming out and that might be a release in itself. However, they're saying 3 new games, and this could be one of two things. One, like I said, they're coming out with 3 new separate stories of Gears, and then basically we run through that and let's tell a different story. But part of me feels that this is more or less going to be a free game pack where you buy Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3 and Judgment in a pack. You get all 3 games for a price of about 40 quid, all HD'd, remastered, whatever, and you play them on the Xbox One. Because the console generation in the next 1 or 2 years is coming to an end, why are you going to space them out? You ain't going to space them out. There's no point now. You might as well just give everyone the right to play the HD version of the Xbox, and then when it's gone, you don't have to worry about them anymore because most people have played them on the Xbox 1, and then you move on every other generation from there. And that's pretty much what Halo did. They give them at the very beginning of this console generation or whatever. They let you play all the old Halos, get them out of the way, get into the franchise, and then you'll progress further on. So I think this could be a free game pack. And finally for Xbox, yes, finally. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 games, and one of them's new in Crackdown. Other one's a franchise in Horizon. Halo's a franchise, and Gears is a franchise, and they're all titles anyway. The only one excitable thing other than Crackdown, you could argue, is a new Fable game, which I know there's masses of fans of that. I'm not a fan, really. I know there are a couple of people who I know who aren't a fan of it, and reviewers and stuff like that. But if people are interested in that franchise, I know it's been a couple of years, and hopefully they get that one right if it's an Xbox exclusive, which I believe it is. So that's going to be interesting. I know people are going to be hyped for that. So we've got a new Fable game, according to this list. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this is E3 2018 press conference schedule, Los Angeles, June 12th to 14th. So just to give you an idea of the dates, actually, when it's running through, apparently, according to this. But I swear it's also on the Saturday. It starts on the 9th, actually, I believe. This is incorrect, this thing is, when it comes to the date, anyway. And finally, PlayStation. I've left PlayStation to the last because they've got a slew of games, and I just want to, compare the two in Xbox and PlayStation. So I'm going to go down the list of uninteresting games to the most interesting. Stellar announcements from third-party and indie devs. Now this tells me, again, indie devs and third-party, now that's all well and good, and that makes things interesting for the PlayStation, opening it up to the marketplace, but it also tells me that PlayStation is preparing for the next console in 2020, or whatever, where they're letting all the developers, the smaller developers, get in there and take advantage of the PlayStation 4 platform, because it's a dying out platform now that people will be moving on very, very soon. So why not just let them join the PlayStation platform and then make money off the PlayStation that way for these new IPs and little ideas. I mean, that's always a positive move, especially near the end of the title of the PlayStation of the console generation. But that's just my opinion. At the same time, you could argue, I mean, they've always been good at it anyway, to a point. Xbox definitely have done that, and I look at their list and I'm like, I've never even heard of most of these games, but they're all there on the actual console. It's like Steam almost. Okay, so Devil May Cry, I think it's at 5 or 6. So yeah, Devil May Cry 5. I've played all the Devil May Cries, completed them all, apart from the last one. I couldn't get past a certain boss, and I was like, fuck it, I can't be bothered. I think that was the PS3 generation, I believe. I'm not too sure. Yeah, it was. I'm sure it was. I think. Yeah, whatever. So I'm not really interested in that game personally anymore, that franchise, but that's been leaked over the past couple of days. The next one up is Medieval, which is a classic on the PS2, I believe, I think, or was it PS1 even? I don't know, but a lot of people hyped up for that, so that's coming out apparently. Dreams, that's coming out. I was told about that, where you can create stuff, and you can make Daleks, you can make pandas, you can make all kinds of stuff and edit and make music as well in the game in itself, and make your own creations. Next one is Days Gone, zombie apocalypse, and all that kind of stuff going on with that game. We pretty much know what that is, a survival game, which is looking interesting. One of the best zombie games coming out in recent years. I'm not seeing a lot of zombie games here off the top of my head. No new Resident Evil, whatever. Then again, this does not include Capcom, this list. So I don't know what Capcom are doing this year. I assume they're going to be there. Yeah, Dreams, Days Gone. Next up we got Marvel, Spider-Man. Definitely interested in playing that. Not been a decent Spider-Man game in years. I'm definitely interested in playing that on the PlayStation 4. Next up is The Last of Us Part 2. Again, I'm playing The Last of Us right now, and I'll be playing that all the way through, including the DLC, so you can check that out. Okay, so we've got Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tunisia, whatever that thing is. You saw it at the beginning of this video. And finally, Death Stranding. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games coming out for PlayStation 4 exclusively. And one of them's like Last of Us franchise, you can call it, the second game. Spider-Man, well, it's just a franchise, but it's old, it hasn't been seen in a while. And Devil May Cry. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 8 games, 2 of them, maybe 3, you can argue, if you're including Spider-Man, are, you know, are like from franchises. The rest are all individual interesting games. Where Xbox, Crackdown 3, new. Well, not even new, it's a franchise, it's the third one. Forza Horizon, Halo, fucking Gears, and Fable. All of them franchises already established. Yes, they have fan bases. Yes, it's going to be good to see them on next gen or whatever console, blah, blah, blah. But nothing new. Nothing new what I'm seeing in this list here, which is massively disappointing. How can you look at that as an Xbox fan, or even the people that work for Xbox, and go, yeah, that's good enough? It's not good enough. It is not fucking good enough. Xbox should have, that should be basic what they've got there. That should be basic from the off, and then have like 4 or 5 more big games, IPs, new IPs, to take on PlayStation, and there's just not enough of it. It's fucking poor. They're good with the hardware, or Xbox are. They're good with the hardware. And even then, you can argue they're fucking not after the 360 Red Ring of Death calamity that went on for fucking years. Finally admitting it was our fault. I don't know. I hope to God, Xbox, you pull something out the bag. Your last press conference was fucking poor. The console launch was poor. The last year's one where you saw what PlayStation had, you panicked, you reevaluated or whatever it was. You showed us what you had, and it still weren't good enough for me. I was like, this is shit. And you panicked and you tried to add more. You had less than this, so I fucking very worried for Xbox. I don't know who's running that shit. Phil Spencer, I don't know, Bill Gates, get off your ass and take a look at the gaming section and go, what the fuck is going on? Because that lineup is shit. That's not good enough. Xbox fans deserve more. I've got an Xbox. I'll give you an example. And there's other big reviewers, big YouTubers that have said this as well. I've got the third-party titles all on the PlayStation 4, then the exclusives. I play my PS4 99.9% of the time. Xbox don't even come on unless if I'm playing a playthrough of Halo or Gears, that's when it comes on. Other than that, it don't come on because there's no need to fucking put it on. Anyway, guys, that is the I don't know how long this video's even gone on for. 25 minutes. Yeah, I'm talking about E3 for 25 minutes, and that was me just going down the list. I didn't mean for it to go on that long. I hope you guys enjoyed the beginning trailer. What I'm going to do is, I'm not going to make it, because I've got people here and I can't film every single day like that. I'm going to, and E3 is going to be going on. Maybe I'll tweet some things out about what are my thoughts and feelings at the end of each press conference. Maybe there'll be a poll each day to see which one won that day's E3, or maybe I'll just say what game are you more excited for. I don't know. There'll be some polls in the next 1 or 2 days as well. Or this week's poll, whatever that be, I'll decide. You can check the community tab for that. And then I'll be watching E3 each day, and at the end of E3 I will come up with a video with all my favourite games, because there's going to be new footage of Death Stranding, there's going to be new footage of, there's going to be footage of Assassin's Creed, definitely going to be showing you FIFA, so I'm going to put all those in one video, and it's going to be called something like my top E3 picks of 2018, which will showcase all of my favourite games that I saw there. Hopefully there's a lot of surprises in this actual situation here in this year's E3 2018. I hope you enjoyed the trailer at the beginning, and what I'll do is I'll put them in all a massive, with the new footage of FIFA and stuff, I'll put them in a massive video, or well, not a massive video, but you know what I mean, all one video, and you'll see my top picks for E3's 2018. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links are in the description below. Don't forget to take part in the polls, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to check out the E3's top picks. I'll put that in the annotation or the comment section below. But that will be after E3, or more or less, you know what I mean? And just keep an eye out for updates. Plus, there'll be more Last of Us coming up next week as well. And that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.